So we start with an intro to explaining the difference between these seemingly interrelated basic terms in ethics course: values, morality, and ethics. Many people, or for that matter even some texts, use them interchangeably, and the explicit difference among them is not properly laid down. So I thought to begin from this point. So we start. What are values? Values are nothing but our preferences. Values is something which one individual or organization or society feels important. They give that person, that society, they give importance to one issue, they give priority to that issue, so that is valuable for them. Values are deep rooted system of beliefs. They are foundation of a person's ability to judge between right and wrong. Like, for example, here I have given one example that if Mr. A values accuracy more than timing for solving a problem, then he might sacrifice a little more time so as to get his questions correct in an exam. A more apt example would be, supposedly, if someone values success over honesty, he or she may opt for cheating in exam in order to achieve desired results. But on the other hand, if someone values honesty over success, then he might not do so. He might not opt for cheating. These values, they tend to be foundation of an individual that influences his behavior. A better way to look at it is, it sets our priorities in life, what we consider important in first place, and what is important, valuable for one may not be valuable for others. Like, one guy may value honesty over success, while other may not do so. So when we'll come to ethics, we'll see the difference between these terms: values, morality, and ethics. So values per se is a descriptive term. Right or wrong does not figure in values. So values are descriptive, it is not prescriptive in nature, it is not normative. Nothing right or wrong when it comes to values, right? But when we come in the domain of morality and ethics, then it has to do with rightness or wrongness of an action. So, popularly, it is called, the difference is explicitly stated as, while ethics tells us what we ought to do, values tells us why we do what we do, right? Because of our deeply ingrained system of beliefs, which are the values, our actions or behavior is affected. On the other hand, ethics tells us why, what type of action we should do, or what type of action we should avoid, rightness or wrongness. Values could be of an individual, organization, or society, right? So here, as I have mentioned, few other examples, like someone could have feministic values, someone could have patriarchal values, right? Some organization could value profit over efficiency, some could value their people over profit, some society could value caste discrimination over humanistic values like kha panchayats. Next we come to, and one more thing, values, the importance of value is, it acts like an anchor to the ship. Just like anchor gives direction and firmness to the ship, value gives direction to our life. Next comes morality. Morality has a root word, it comes from the root word mors, and mores means custom, habit, or way of life. Similarly, we'll see ethics comes from ethos, which also means customs or common practice. So these two terms, morality and ethics, because their root word is has similar meaning, so they are used interchangeably. However, particularly in UPSC and technically, there is a minor difference between the two. Here we'll understand the difference between morality and ethics. So, morality refers to values and beliefs about what is right or what is wrong. So, like in the ancient Greek society, I'm sure you might have seen that movie 300, in which Spartans used to value wars, right? So that was model for them. It's not necessarily ethical, but we'll see in the domain of ethics what is a just war, in what case war could be ethical. We'll see in ethics. So morality is something which is decided by outside of individual, like uh, the community, the society, the family, religion, law, whatever they see as right or wrong is moral for that particular human being, that he has in taken from the society, from outside of human being. Like intercaste marriage, what I've given example, intercaste marriage for khap panchayat is immoral. Morality, this is one of the important lines for morality. Morality involves a duty to obey moral precepts because of their claims to rightness or justice. Claims word is important here because it might not be right, but the society thinks that this particular act is right or this particular belief is right. So it is a claim, these moral precepts are the claim of the society for rightness or justice, right? And that compels an individual to obey these moral precepts. However, when we'll come to ethics, that is the critical examination of this morality. Morality is given, it is taken for an individual from outside of human being. However, when he applies his own reason to it, when he critically examines those set of beliefs, then ethics comes into picture. It is the, as I already told, that from the society, from things external to human being, we get these beliefs, and this is something personal. This is morality, something personal compass of right or wrong, and it is more or less consistent. Unless and until your own individual values changes, morality is more or less consistent. And as I already told you, it complies with norms originating outside human beings, right? However, human beings are rational, human beings are intelligent, and mere compliance with these norms isn't being human. Here comes the domain of ethics. Next we come to ethics. So ethics is what? Ethics is nothing but, in short, ethics is critical analysis of morality. So, like in the earlier example, war may be moral for the society, right? But as we all know, that war leads to destruction of life and property. So, rationally, war could not be termed as justified or right, right? So, in ethics, when we decide about the rightness or wrongness of human action, then we decide it on the basis of uh, more humanistic ground, more rational ground, right? So war fails as value here, right? So In certain cases, when in the later part of the course we'll come to just war theory, in which case we'll see that in what circumstances or conditions war is ethical. That is called just war theory. There are few conditions that the war should be for saving the lives of humanity, it should be the last resort, and other conditions, other things like that, right? So largely just war or peace is ethical, but war may be moral, but war cannot be termed as ethical. Rightness or wrongness, as I already told, is decided on rationalistic and humanistic ground. And because reason changes, it evolves over a period of time. Similarly, ethics keeps evolving. It is again called scientific study of morality, and that's why it is also called moral philosophy. Philosophy is nothing but critical examination. Something when studied critically, holistically, right, from examination point of view, right, when we analyze a particular issue, then it comes into the domain of philosophy. When we analyze morality, when we adjudge whether it is right or wrong based upon our own reason, then ethics comes into picture. Ethics and morality are prescriptive in nature. Unlike values that I already told, values are descriptive. Values are our preferences. Value are something to which we give importance. It shows our priority. But ethics and morality has to deal with whether this particular act is right or wrong. Ethics points to standard of behavior expected by the group to which individual belongs. For example, supposedly there is a criminal defense lawyer, his personal moral code might be that murder is immoral, murder is deplorable. But being a criminal defense lawyer, his legal ethics would demand him that he take the side of his client. He needs to protect his accused client, right? So this ethics overrides the moral code. Here legal ethics must override personal morals for greater good of upholding justice. So, as we told, ethics is science of morality that studies morality through critical examination of rightness or wrongness in human action. Now, we'll deal various theories of ethics in the later course, but here, just to give you intro, ethics has largely two schools. Majorly, ethics is divided into two broad schools. Those are deontology and teleology. Deontology comes from deontos, we'll go into it. They have to do with certain objective set of standards or rules. They are also called objectivist. They rely on human reason to discover certain objective standards of conduct or morality that applies to all human beings. These objective set of standards would determine whether an act is right or wrong. On the other hand, comes from teleos. Teleos are consequences. They determine rightness or wrongness of human action depending upon the consequence. They reflect upon the consequence. They do not believe in any standard set of rules or conduct. Rather, they try to mm, interpret what meaning can be found in human actions, and through reflection, how right or wrong are these actions. So in next course, we'll go into the further detail where ethics is applied, the ethics of human action, what is human action, and what comprises ethics, and various other ethical theories besides these two will deal in detail. Thank you. Looking forward for your comments. Thanks.